That's true. Here we go. Hello, honey. Hello, people. How are you? I hope everybody can see me. I hope everybody can hear okay. Just confirm down below. We are here today live. I so appreciate everybody that is in the chat already. It's wonderful to see you. Brandon, how are you?
I'm here. I'm good. How you doing, Kathy?
I'm doing okay. I'm just turning your volume up a little bit here. Okay, there we go.
Hello. Yeah. Coming in clear.
Can you hear me? Can you everybody hear Brandon?
Hopefully.
Yeah, I think that they can. Hi, Denise. Hi, everybody. I love it when you guys say my name. It's like I'm in a place of being egotistical today or something. Hello, Melissa. Yeah. So anyway, this has been kind of one of those weeks, I think. And, it's interesting because I just saw in the chat, Brandon was talking about the great conjunction, and which, starts on the 12th. And I feel like a lot of these energies are really starting to affect me now. I don't know if anybody else is feeling it. I'm really starting to do a lot of releasing. There has definitely been some cranky moments, let's just say, for me. Is anybody else feeling like all of these energies that are starting to, come together, build up? We've got, what is it today? Today's the 12th. So it starts today. Yeah. It goes until the 21st. Is that correct? I think the 21st is when everything aligns.
It's sort of already started. When we look at astrology and we look at conjunctions, most astrologers tend to believe that it's within the 5 degrees of separation. That orb of separation is when like an angle or a conjunction is kind of counted. But we're there. So Jupiter and Saturn, like I said, they're already kind of conjunct right now, but they become directly conjunct. They'll be separated by a 1/10 of a degree on the 21st of December. So It's kind of already happened, and we should be feeling the effect. Well, we've been feeling the effects of it for a long time. Saturn and Jupiter are slower moving planets. So we've been feeling this mostly this whole year, to be honest. It's been intense, but
and what a year.
Yeah. Well, it was also next to Pluto. So think about Pluto, which is about transformation, transcendence, the phoenix dying into something and it becoming new. It's a very intense planet. The obsession is a huge Plutonian word. And look at what's happened. We had Pluto conjunct Saturn and then Jupiter. And let's see, we have obsession with what? Limitations or restrictions. And then those limitations and restrictions growing thanks to Jupiter. A lot of people have likened that to the virus itself, to like a plague of some kind with Plutonian energy there. And it has just been so intense. Mind you, all of that is on my ascendant and my own Saturn and everything else. So I'm feeling all of that tenfold on myself, my personality. That's why I've been in like a cocoon for this whole year myself. I've been in a cocoon trying to protect myself, keeping my energy harnessed so I'm not into the collective consciousness so much. Because, I'm not here for the problem. I'm here for the solution. I don't want to feed the problems that we're experiencing. I want to push us into finding solution.
I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. And I think that's kind of what started my, I'm going to call it my ego trip this week. It wasn't so much like an ego trip. Like, I'm not going to say, in the vanity sort of way. It was more in the, why is this, it was sort of like in the lack of appreciation mentality that I was in, but also just the whole, I feel like we can do better as people type of behavior, just within myself, within people that I was seeing and watching and all of that. And it was like, I feel like this is also a year too, or this time, I should say, is where we need to start showing appreciation to those that we really do appreciate. And and to allow that energy to come through. I know this week it's been kind of like, I know I've been doing things that I probably, I don't want to say shouldn't be doing, but things that you're sort of curious about, like watching things that maybe I shouldn't be watching, and then getting like a little bit angry, or I suppose
perfect description.
What's that?
This conjunction. It's the perfect description of this conjunction.
Yeah. It's like, I know I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm watching this, and then I'm getting angry about this, and then I have to remove myself, and then I have to allow, myself to get into a place of looking at it from a third perspective, rather than, it's like watching a video game when you're playing third-party video game, right? And you're watching the character, but you're not in the character. And I've had to get into that, right? Like, and it's helped. But you also know that there's more to release. And then you're seeing people that are being appreciated or being recognized for, what's the word, minor things. And you're being like jumped over or left out or abandoned, I guess is the word, or left out in the cold. And then you have to go and fight that ego all over again, rather than lashing out or behaving in a manner that that you're above.
I think it's a good description with the conjunction happening in Aquarius, 0 degrees Aquarius. Aquarius is kind of like that third perspective kind of sign, right?
Right.
They kind of hover over everything. I saw this image. It was like a meme, and it was like, this is what it's like inside of the brain of an air sign, and it was all different colored lines going all different colored ways and all over the place. It was crossing, squiggling, swirling everywhere, and I'm like, that's a great description of it. But if you were to see from that perspective, you could see all the interconnections of all those little lines, and that's very much an Aquarian energy. They see connections that are not normally seen by like a normal Earth brain, right? That's why they're the cartographers of the zodiac. That's why they're the astrologists, the revolutionaries, the map makers. I think it's going to be absolutely reflected, in our society, through society, period. All of us, our collective consciousness. But I also think Aquarius has that very strong humanitarian vibe as well, to take care of people, to fit in other people that may be excluded, right? They're the ones that like to give of themselves to help other people.
It's very true. And I think that we have a hard time with because this is something that we would do. And so we look at everything in that perspective. It's like, well, I would draw you in. I'm going to give you a hug. I'm going to help you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to, because we want other people to feel probably as good as we do. But when you're passed over continuously, or, like I said, I was watching things that I shouldn't watch probably. And you're seeing people on Twitter that are getting recognized for doing dick schmuck all. And you're like, hello, pay attention to me. It hurts you, because you're still going to be that person who's trying. You're still going to give that out. You're still going to, all of that stuff, but it does break you down, right? It does hurt you. It does affect you, and it kind of hardens you to some degree, right?
That's the vibe of Aquarius. They often have to tune out or tap out or pull away,
which makes us come off as very disconnected. So I didn't mean to interrupt, because we can come off as very disconnected, right? And it's not that we're not it's not that we are disconnected. It's just that we're feeling everything so profoundly that you're like in this place of, I don't know what to do, or I don't know how to, because you still want to give, but it's like you're scared of giving because of the fact that you're going to get hurt. But then, so it's this circle, it's a protection, right? Thing. Yeah.
I think. What do you think the best way for an Aquarius to handle that kind of energy? Is it like a submitting thing? Like, do you got to submit and surrender yourself? Do you feel like you have to continuously block off and go into a hermit mode? What's the best way to deal with that from an Aquarius?
So I used to be in this place where I could be very cold, right? And, you know, so you sort of give off that energy like you don't give a shit. Excuse my language. You know, but again, it wasn't so much that. It was like I could literally turn around from somebody that was, you know, talking or not giving you that attention, block all of those emotions and go and do something else. It was almost like you just don't exist. I'm going here. You're done. You're like, what's that expression from that guy on the Shark's Tank? So you're dead to me. Right? You're dead to me. I'm just done. I'm done. Now that I think that I'm starting to recognize what it is, and it's interesting because we have Aquarius going, you know, Aquarius is in a heightened season right now. I feel like this is not just for those Aquarians or people with Aquarian aspects in their zodiac, but this is really like a global thing. And
yes,
right, it's not just me that I'm talking about, or people in the chat that have the Aquarius, you know, sun, moon, rising, Venus, you know, aspects. But I do feel that this is very much so what I do now is I try to look at it from the third perspective. Take that step back, and I really
that's solid
look
advice
at
for
it.
everybody, by the way, right now.
What's that?
See things from the third perspective. That is solid advice for everyone right now to be able to do that.
Yeah, I do. I feel like it's so important is just to take that step back, look at it from another person's point of view. It doesn't mean that they're always going to be right. I mean, you can look at something from a third party point of view and still go, you're kind of an idiot. Like you're still, you know, it doesn't mean that you have to be fully encompassing and fully accepting of that person's behavior, but it does give you a better perspective of it rather than coming off from a place of ego. So when you look at it, you can still go, no, you're still, no, that's still not right. But or you can look at it and go, okay, now I have a better understanding of why you're doing this or why this behavior is happening. So it's really going to depend on each individual, right? It doesn't mean that we have to stay in that place. One of the things I know that is a really common phrase for, you know, mediums, psychics, empaths is to hold a space for somebody. Here's the thing. You can definitely hold a space for people, but in the same degree, do they deserve that space? It doesn't mean that you're completely cutting them off, but it doesn't mean that you have to absorb any of their energy. You can leave a space if they decide that they want to grow, if they want to evolve, if they want to ascend, if they want to become better people. But you don't have to engage that activity with your own energy in any way, shape, or form. You know, you can take that step back. If they want to evolve and they come to you, you know, in a either spiritual form or a physical form or whatever form it is, and they are showing that they have to some degree evolved or ascended. And this goes for ourselves too, right? Because sometimes we behave in a manner that's not, you know, particularly up and up, right? Or however it is, or we're behaving in a way that maybe they're looking at us going, what the hell are you doing? You know, right? So, but it is removing that ego as much as we can and recognizing the fact that, you know, maybe they're not trying to hurt us. They're just trying to make it day by day as we all are at this particular point. So,
I mean, that cliche saying, you know, if you want to see change outside of yourself, start with yourself. Like that absolutely works. It absolutely helps. Like say you want to see a change in somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Like say, I want them to start being more attentive to my niceties. Well, if you start doing it, it's like attracts like, you know, the simple monkey mind, it just naturally acquiesces to what's happening around it. So it really is a cliche saying because it's just true all the time, you know, be the change you want to see. It's It sounds so, I mean, I feel trite. I feel,
Denise
so,
just said that, be the change you want to see in the world. That's exactly it, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
It feels so silly to say it sometimes just because, you can write it on a throw pillow and put it on your couch.
You can make it one of those wall hangings, and
exactly.
or
Live, laugh,
stencil
love.
it on your wall. But
Yeah.
but are you living it? And that's the thing, right? And
Right.
I find that that's the important thing is, is to stop and go, am I living this? It's interesting. I don't know why but this book just popped into my head. And if anybody ever gets a chance to read it, I seriously suggest it. It is called The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. And this is my favorite book. I mean, oh God, I'm going to start crying again or something stupid like that. Okay. So let the emotion go. But this book is like, I've read it so many times. It is literally like, I don't even know if it has a full cover. It's like got pieces all over, it's one of those books. And I just have read it, over and over. And it talks about, so that, basically in the book, it's really an interesting book. And it at the end will make you like bawl like a baby. But at the same degree, there's like 9 scrolls that this guy goes through. And it's a repeating of each scroll for a month. Okay. And so basically, the premise of the book is to take each scroll and you repeat it in the morning, afternoon, evening, and it becomes like a habit. It becomes a part of your essence. It becomes a part of your soul. And now, have I actually done that? No, because I'm sort of ADHD and I'll begin something for like 3 days and then forget about it. But that doesn't mean that I haven't read all the scrolls, which I have, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes that habit. It becomes that part of us. Like I said, and you just start really living that, the essence of these scrolls. And they really talk about generosity towards men and talking about love and talking about, being able to better the planet in some manner. But it also talks about, because it is about the greatest salesman in the world, it really talks about how do we draw people in, but also give them the love and the attention that they deserve. And it is such an amazing book. And there's a little interesting story behind it. When Og Mandino wrote this book, he actually became, as authors do, they sometimes become brain fogged, right? Like I don't know where to go with this. I know what I'm trying to write, but I can't come up with the right words, or I'm just having a blockage. And it was interesting because his wife kind of put into a forward of, I can't remember if it was in the forward of the book or if this was something that I had read online somewhere. But she said that one night she went to bed and he was like, kind of like this, like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm blocked. I can't move further on this. And so she went to bed and left him alone, as a good wife would do. Right? It's like, well, just back away and go to bed. Like,
what's the name of the book again?
The Greatest Salesman in the World.
Okay.
And it's by Og Mandino. And she woke up the next day and all 9 scrolls were written. And like, we're talking, each scroll is probably about a good 10 pages of pure writing. So, it was interesting because she apparently I don't know why my camera went weird. During the middle of the night, somehow he said like spirit just took over him and he just wrote. And
it's like a spirit went in front of you.
Yeah.
Adjusting the camera.
Weird, right? Like, it was just like, whoa, my camera just went. And so when she woke up the next day, there he was still typing. He was still, into this phase. And he literally was just channeling this entire book. And it was freaking amazing. And she said, like, this book was probably the best of his work. He's actually written several books. And she said this was like his, like this entire book was channeled. I seriously recommend that if anybody gets a chance to read it, do so, because it is one of those books that it is almost literally life-changing to some degree, or at least perspective changing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like when you read somebody's channeled work, you go into that tunnel with them. You vibe with them. You feel that. I miss channeling so much.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't done it in so long.
Yeah. You know what?
It.
I love channeling.
It's great. It's great. Maybe we should do a show one day where we do just channeled messages and just kind of vibe with whomever is around and just channel whatever comes through for them. I think that could be fun.
I'd love that. I would love that.
That would be really cool.
I remember, because I used to do lectures a lot, and I still channel a lot. There's a lot of times, like maybe people will notice when I'm on live or whatever. Sometimes I just, it's like, especially when I'm lost for words, all of a sudden I can sort of take a step back, and it's like spirit just kind of comes in, says what they need to say, and then disappears.
That's such an Aquarian thing. That's so Aquarian. And especially your chart with Aquarius and Pisces. That's like such a beautiful representation to me.
Thank you. Yeah. I love it when spirit comes through like that, because they're saying the messages that are absolutely need to be said. And I know that it's not coming from a place within myself. Like, it's not coming from that place of ego. I know that it's not coming from a place of my own perspective. This is just spirit that is coming through and speaking. And when I used to do lectures for the Edmonton Paranormal Society, so we used to do, weekly meetings, and invite people. It was open to the public, and we used to have people that had an interest in the paranormal. And it was like meetings of like 20, 30, 50, sometimes 100 people. Like, it was, it was crazy. And I used to do a lot of lectures for them. And I remember one time somebody had asked a question, and it was like I knew the answer, but I couldn't speak it. Like, I wasn't able to speak it. It kind of upset me, the question that it was. I can't remember even what it was now, but it had upset me to a degree that I knew that I was going to be talking from ego. Like, I knew that that feeling of being upset was going to come through. And it was like I just took a step aside, and all of a sudden I could hear everything that was being said. I knew what was being said. I could have stopped it if I needed to, but spirit was able to just speak it in such a beautiful way that I wouldn't have been able to do it. Like, I knew it was not coming from me. And it was weird because I had team members that were around the room at the time. One would be in this corner, one was over there, one was over there, and they were sort of mixed in with the public. And they all came to me at the end of this lecture, and they said, while you were talking, you were surrounded in purple. It was like this purple aura just took over you, and we all saw it, but we were all in different locations of the room.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes my crown tingle. That makes my crown chakra tingle, like right away as soon as you said that.
Yeah, and it was like, that's spirit. You knew, like, I just knew, like, I had control of myself. I could have I could have stopped it. I could have interrupted. You know what I mean? I didn't lose control of myself in any way, but it was like I just spiritually took a step aside. And it was such an amazing energy, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And since then, I have done that before. It's continued throughout that. Like, even sometimes when I'm doing readings, it's like I just take a step aside. But I think that because that was one of the first shifts that I had done, it was like it had a deeper spiritual meaning for me. Right? So.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, if it's like a more of an opening.
Yeah.
Initiation kind of thing. That absolutely affects you. I mean, I remember even just it was like my awakening or my enlightenment moment when I was like thrown out of my body, went through this crazy wormhole. Like, it was a whole thing. And I remember it, like it was yesterday. Like, those initiation moments, those are always so interesting. They don't always have to be crazy or intense, but they're always interesting. You usually always remember those like so clearly. It's like burned in your brain. You do. You just, it's something that is, it's like that deep spiritual moment, and you just kind of go like, wow. Oh, spirit just told me, just as we were talking about this, that there are going to be so many people who are having that moment in the next like 2 weeks leading up to this whole conjunction. They're like, oh, there's a reason you're talking about this. Wink, wink. You gotta love that, right? Like, I don't know. Spirit amazes me all the time. All the time.
right?
How could you not love a life of being just totally surrendered to spirit and having those beautifully synchronistic moments? Like, I can't think of another way. I've been thinking about a lot of stuff lately, how, you know, I could have been like a surgeon. I could have been a lawyer. I would have been a damn good lawyer. And
I wanted to be a lawyer too. Isn't that funny?
I could totally see it. I can totally see that. We would have a thing together.
Right?
What would we call our lawyer practice?
Oh, we kick ass too.
Oh my gosh. But I was thinking about that and like how different of a path that would be and what it is to where I am now. And it's like almost the antithesis of where I am with my beliefs, my perspective. You know, there is a surrender to God, to source, to spirit. And I would be very different, you know, if I was quote unquote surrendering to like, you know, the law and is a courtroom and judges and whatever. I don't know. I don't know if I would like who I would be if I were that kind of rigid, you know, intense, cutthroat kind of person. I don't know if I would.
You definitely, but be much harder. Like harder in personality, harder in spirit, harder in, you know, compassion, right? You know, because there would be that level of compassion, but at the same time, there's that cutoff where you're just literally doing your job, right? I think that would be dramatic, and I'm kind of glad. I mean, obviously, I'm super glad that I was led to where I'm supposed to be now, and it's all for a reason, you know. But there is that part of you that goes, you know, especially because I'm such a crime buff. Like every show that I watch is either, like Criminal Minds, Law and Order, you know, Blue Blood. Like it's all crime, or it's all lawyers, or it's all like serial killers, or it's all like murder mysteries, or I don't even know what a freaking regular drama is half the time, except for maybe Game of Thrones. But that's my, you know, that's my thing, right? Is I completely watch all of these, you know, crime, you know, law dramas.
Oh, Kathy.
What?
Side note, I've been rewatching Daredevil, and I think you would love it.
I love Daredevil. I love Daredevil.
Oh, there's something about it. There's something so crazy
and the Punisher.
Psychic about it.
Yeah.
Oh, the Punisher is really good, but I just love the psychic aspect to Daredevil because he's like sensing the world around him, obviously because he's blind. And even the intro of the show is so psychic. Like there's so much psychic stuff to it, and it's so cerebral and so smart. I love it. I love that vibe.
Maybe I need to rewatch it. I love Daredevil.
I don't
right?
know why
I don't know if I watched
it,
the last season. I think I did because the Punisher was in there, but
and then they all connect, which is just so cool in and of itself. Like they all intertwine and work together. So cool. I love that. Love that. I'm so cheesy like that.
Yeah, I definitely think I should probably watch it again. That's actually a really good idea because now I've run out of shows to watch. So I'm kind of like, okay, you know, I'm like on my second round of Game of Thrones for the 8th time. Like, you know?
That's how I am with like Parks and Rec. I love Parks and Recreation. This is like my feel good, happy vibe.
Feel good show.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe we should get started on some readings. And
all right. So how can everybody get in contact with you if they want to book a reading first?
Okay. So yeah, these are going to be mini readings. Okay, guys. So these are not readings that are going to be, you know, long in length. We're just taking a quick look for you. You can, however, you can contact me either through my Facebook page, which is Oracle Intuitions. You can contact me at my Instagram, which is Oracle_Intuitions, or through my website, which is again, oracleintuitions.com. So contact me through any of those. Readings are $85 per hour. I usually do live sessions. So this is either, if you don't want to be on camera, we can just do a phone reading. Usually what we do though is either like a video session through Skype or Messenger or WhatsApp if you prefer. It's really your choice as to, you know, how to how you want it done, because not everybody, I have just about every platform, but not everybody does. So that I'll leave that up to you. And yeah, you can just contact me through there. For today, remember that again, these are mini readings. I need you guys to be specific about what it is that you're looking into, because we're not doing a full sessions or anything like that. So give me specifics. Like, do you want to, is this about, is it about work? Is it about romance? Whatever. It's not just going to be tell me about my life or tell me what's coming up or whatever. Like, try to make it more specific. If this is including another person, please include at least their first name. And if you don't have their full birth date, at least their astrological sign, just so I can get that connection. Also include your first name and your astrological sign. And again, what we don't look into, or what I don't particularly look into, no health questions. Okay. No legal questions. I prefer not to look into third-party situations. If something comes through from spirit, that's different. But I'm not a spy. I don't want to go looking into other people's relationships. That's not my business. It's not really your business. Bottom line. So yeah, I think we can begin.
All right.
Oh, and also too, if anybody would like to donate to the show, we truly appreciate it. It's not mandatory, but it is very much appreciated. PayPal is crogers5555@gmail.com, and I'll actually just write that down below. And we do appreciate donations. And yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
All right.
Okay.
So let's do our first timers first, please. The reading room is open. So if you are a first-time viewer, please go ahead and type in your question submission in the chat, and I will put you in the order that you have sent it in. So just to be clear, reading room is now open for first-time viewers. We will take everyone else after that. And then, are we on a time constraint here, Kathy?
Yeah, I think we'll stay with like 10 readings. So the first 10 that come through. Yeah.
All right.
What do you think? I think that's good. I know that you have things that you have to get done today.
I think 10 readings or an hour and 15 minutes, whichever comes first.
That sounds good.
That'll be for my time. So
yeah,
I think that's 3 your time, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're here every Saturday.
Yes. So if you don't get a chance to come in today, you will have a chance to be able to come in on Saturday. So first time viewers. All right. So Brian looks first here. So let me just write this list out.
Oh, thank you, Cathryn.
Spiritual J is going to be next. Spiritual J, if you do have a question, you can go ahead and type it here in the chat. Anyone else, if they're first-time viewers, we will take you first. So let's start here with Brian.
Oh, and make sure too, you guys do have to be subscribers. So make sure you click that subscribe button. And I do want to mention too, before we, when we're talking about subscribe, please, please, please don't click subscribe and then unsubscribe, simply because it really does screw up the algorithm with YouTube. One of the reasons, like when people subscribe, it really does push you up on that YouTube algorithm for other people to see. And what that does is it allows more subscribers to come in, so that when you get monetized, you do have that ability to be able to offer things like this more often, because it does take out of your day, it does take out of your time, and we love, love, love doing it. But there is, to some degree, a goal, right? Like as much as you want to continue to give, there is that, we're just basically asking for that subscribe. So please don't subscribe and then unsubscribe, because again, it does mess up the algorithm, not only for ourselves, but YouTube does take a look at that. So when you're subscribing and unsubscribing to things, again, that also hits that algorithm. And when we have subscribers and then unsubscribers, that also affects your algorithm to some degree. So that's basically what I'm asking. And we do ask that people be a subscriber in order to receive the readings. So just make sure that you've clicked that subscribe button, right?
Exactly. All right. So first is going to be Brian.
Okay.
I think this is more of a general. So I do know Brian.
Okay.
And so he's asking about a reading towards career here.
Okay. What would you like to know? Like maybe, again, be more specific in regards to career. I feel like I want to grab my cards too, just in case. Yeah, so Brian, if you don't mind just writing a little bit more in spiritual Jay. So I can't decide your career for you. Okay. You can, however, give me some options, to look at. I never decide somebody's career, or I never tell, that would be something that would be more of a full reading. Just because that would take up quite a lot of energy, but we can look into options of the career or where we see something, moving towards. And Brian. Okay. So Brian, was there a more specific question? I don't know if Brian's typing or not, so I'm just going to give it a minute.
It could be a little bit delayed, so I'm just going to type to him in the chat. Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay. Perfect. I have no direction, maybe a direction to lock into. Okay, it's interesting. Again, I can't decide your career for you. Okay, like, so I that's just something I don't do, and I don't have. It's really hard. What I am getting here is I am getting, it's interesting because we have a couple of cards that are coming in here in regards to balance. And it almost feels like some sort of maybe perhaps charity of some sort. I don't want to say that you should be into a job of charity, because that's obviously not going to be kind of a career. But it almost feels as though there's something coming through here in regards to it's like being able to offer or give to, or in regards to balance of some sort. It feels as though, because we've got this Justice card coming in, we've got the Six of Pentacles, and again, that really talks about balance. When we have that Six of Pentacles, I feel what I'm hearing is that there have been jobs that I feel like you were giving more to, rather than receiving. Like it's almost like you were giving more towards the position or towards the job, maybe perhaps with some sense of disappointment in there, because we've also got this Eight of Cups. I almost feel as though you kind of came to this realization that you're looking for something that is going to be more balanced within your occupational field. It's like where you're not only giving, but you're receiving that satisfaction. What I'm getting here is we've got this Ace of Cups that's also coming in, and I really keep getting this energy. Like it feels as though you almost need to sit down with yourself and write a list of the things that really make you happy, because it's almost as though you've been searching, but there's not that feeling of pure satisfaction. I almost feel like there has been maybe a particular job or career or something that you started heading towards, but I want to say like it's almost like a subsection of something. I don't know how to describe that. But it's like you know, when you're doing something and you sort of enjoy it, but it's not giving you that complete satisfaction, but you could see yourself along that field. It feels as though there's something in there that you need to sit down and this, there might even be some self-employment in here in some way, or building a category of some sort of self-employment for yourself. I hope that that makes sense.
You are spot on.
Okay.
Absolutely spot on,
Okay.
Kathy.
Yeah.
100%. When I'm connected here, I'm being shown three things. I'm being shown either the energy of a child, but the reason why I say it could be one of two things is because anytime I'm shown the child, they're either showing me literally children or the soul.
Right.
Because when you look at, you know, a person who's a full-grown adult and they show me a child, it's, you know, it's that the child version, the untainted, unmasked, not
the innocent
part of the self, right? The innocence. And so what I keep being shown is the innocent, internal, emotional movement. So literally helping emotions be able to move or progress, or kind of just get onto their path. It's like they're taking flight, or maybe they're being inspired, or maybe they're helped being moved past as if they were some kind of a block or something like that. So yeah. I think we're vibing on the absolute same thing here, and I can definitely confirm for you that you're picking up on some spot on stuff here.
Yeah, I feel it's almost like you're almost there, but you need to sit and truly follow that heart, truly follow what it is that is drawing you. And it feels, it's almost like it's sitting right here. Like it's like, you know what it is, or you're about to truly discover what it is, but you just need to take that one step forward, or that one step to allowing the energy of it to come through for you. So I hope that makes sense, Brian. I hope that's helped. And if you want, you can definitely write something in the chat just to, kind of confirm where we were with that. Yeah. So we'll go to the next one.
All right. So next is going to be Spiritual J. Are you still here, Spiritual J?
I believe that they are. I saw them just respond a few seconds ago.
Yeah, they're here. All right. So Spiritual J would like to know what career should I consider?
Okay. It has to be something that brings me purpose. You're so welcome, Brian. I hope that that's helped. Yeah. I feel like it's on the verge. It's on the verge. It's about to come through. And it's basically just sitting within yourself. What makes you happy? What brings you, that spiritual fulfillment, or that personal fulfillment for yourself. I feel like it's right on that verge. You're about to discover it. It might not be tomorrow, but it's coming through. Okay.
You had said something about him being self-employed. Do you feel that this is something that he's going to create?
I feel like it, because it almost feels as though there's this energy here that you may have already done some sort of other job or career or whatever. Like it's almost like you were participating in some way, but it wasn't quite giving you the full satisfaction of what it should. And it's almost like you had ideas, or you had innovations, or there was thought process. So I can make this better. I can do this better. I can something along that line. And I feel like this might be something that you need to follow, or that you can create. I don't know. It feels like, it almost feels like you're going to take this category and make it yours in some manner. That's what I just keep feeling. Yeah.
That sounds quite deep, quite big.
And innovative. Like, it just feels very innovative. And I feel like this is something that, that could happen. That could happen. I think you just need to take the time and follow that path. It's not going to be easy. It's not like, there's going to be work behind it, but that work is going to be so worthwhile in the end. Like it's going to create a whole new, almost, I want to say, division in some way for you. I say, oh, okay, good, there we go. Yeah, he just confirmed that. I honestly, Brian, just sit with yourself for a little bit. Sit with yourself. You will see it coming through. You will see it coming through. I just feel this. It's like, you ever have those moments where it's like, poof, oh, there it is. How come I didn't see that? It was sitting right in front of me.
I know.
Right?
I know. I have a little bias with Brian, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Okay. Okay.
You're absolutely right.
Okay. That's what I keep getting. It's like, poof, oh, holy shit. Like, there it is. Like right there, right in front of me. Whoa. Okay. That's what's good. That's what I keep getting. Excuse me. Okay. So spiritual J. Okay. Again, spiritual J. I can't decide your career for you. Okay. So that's something that I definitely can't do. If you could again clarify, like, what do you, I mean, because literally, I mean, I could tell you that you could be a doggy pooper scooper. You know what I mean? Like, you have to give me some sort of clarification.
Well, you could do that.
You could. I mean,
integrity, right?
We probably actually need more of those. I know I do in my backyard.
Well, spiritual J, what's your zodiac? Perhaps, and what I can try to do is just see the energy of the work they're going to do. But if you do have something more specific so that Kathy can tap in, you can kind of rephrase your question or allow some more specificity.
Please.
Because like Kathy said, there could be so many things you could do in one, in even just one area, one energy.
Right. Yeah. And I just, I can't, I just, that's not my forte is to, direct somebody like that, because that's not, first of all, that would not be a responsibility that I would want. Right. Because that might not resonate with everybody, but if we can give a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds here and maybe a first name too.
All right, spiritual J, just while you're typing here, I will say that I am picking up energy around work and career. What I keep being shown is that there's some kind of
collaboration.
You have some kind of eye of being able to create some sense of harmony or beauty. I feel like it has something to do with events, like people coming together in some way or creating beauty for somebody. It reminds me of somebody who can plan a wedding or even be at the spotlight. Oh, okay, look at that. Between the two, becoming a singer or going to cosmetology.
Right.
Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. You go first.
Her name is Jada.
Okay. Hi, Jada.
It just has this, I just feel beauty. I feel harmony, like things are harmonic. It feels like, I don't know, I keep feeling a lot of money, but specifically abundance kind of surrounding all of it. It feels like anything, that's the energy. That really is the energy that I'm picking up, the base energy of you doing something that involves beauty. That's really the biggest thing. It's like bringing people to their potential. So singer and cosmetology, I mean, those two perfectly resonate with the energy that I'm personally picking up on. It's like you can sing, in beautiful harmony, quite literally, and bringing, this sense of openness or inspiration to people. Or, if you were a beautician of some kind, bringing them beauty, to their appearance or what's going on within them, but also, being a sort of internal force. Everybody knows that, you go to your stylist, not only just to look good, but to gab, right? And to talk about stuff, come to moments of clarity, and just talk and connect in that way. So it could be, you're on the absolute right path with those two things, 100%.
I'm getting Jada. So I'll tell you something. I actually was an esthetician for 25 years. not many people know that, but I actually have my own business and everything doing aesthetics.
Wow,
So beauty
I
school.
didn't even know that.
Yeah. I actually started my own mobile service about 10 years ago, and I was in business for like 3 or 4 years until I just got overwhelmed where it was, I either had to hire people, which, comes with its own issues, right? Or I had to start, pulling back. But I tell you, it was like 16 hours a day, 17, sometimes 20 hours a day of just pure, like straight work, mobile service. Yeah, it was crazy. What I keep getting, Jada, it was interesting because the first card that came through and the thing that I kept hearing is I really feel exactly like what Brandon said. The beauty. I feel beauty. I feel like rising. I don't know how to explain this. Rising above. It's like I do feel a lot of you being in your own power with that King of Pentacles coming through, but I'm also getting a collaboration. So I feel like with you that there needs to be, the first thing I heard as soon as I saw your question is I feel like you have to combine the two. Now, it doesn't mean that one is going to take over. I almost feel as though like to have that beauty school is going to somehow either open doors for you, but it's also going to have a backup in a financial sense to you. What I feel is as you're progressing with your singing career, this will be a good backup. But what I keep getting is that eventually the singing career is going to start taking over the cosmetology, but that to have that background is going to be extremely beneficial for you. So what I keep feeling with, especially that King of Pentacles coming through, is you being almost like when that King of Pentacles comes through, he's like the king of the mountain, right? He is the king of all the kings. He's very strong and within himself. He's very secure within himself. He has that financial and stable personality, and it feels as though you are making yourself in some aspects that king within your own realm. So I hope that helps. I'm just going to read. I want to do hair and be a nail technician. It is work, right? It is work. I'm not going to lie to you, especially with the nails, because that's what I specialized in 10 years, right? It is work, but it's a lot of practice, right? To do that. But here's the thing is what you're going to learn through that is going to be amazing. But at the same time, I do feel you working on your own particular, singing career and bringing yourself up to a place where, again, that King of Pentacles is coming through. So just take it one step at a time is what I keep hearing. One step at a time. Allow yourself the practice. Allow yourself to fully engage in the aesthetics field. Okay. And it will be beneficial. Yeah. So crazy. I love it, though. I love it.
All right.
And you were totally spot on, like with the beauty and everything, Brandon. Like 100%. Like it was just so there.
I felt that right away. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think it's the best thing. It feels like the best case scenario for Jada because it's like they are able to have something practical and tangible, but all still the while transpiring to something else that feels just as beautiful, if not more. And there's no reason you can't sing and do that at the same time. People are discovered everywhere. I mean, Justin Bieber was discovered busking on the streets
right
in Canada. People are discovered everywhere. So I would not let that go, but still have something practical for yourself in the same realm. It's like you've got the best case scenario right there.
Absolutely. I feel like too, not just hair and nails. I keep hearing makeup. Like that might be something that you want to double check into as well, is that makeup field, because I as you were saying beautiful, I felt like Jada herself beautiful. I feel like this is something that could go further with that within that makeup realm. Okay. Like being able to present makeup maybe perhaps on yourself as your own model, that sort of thing. Like it felt like this could be something that you should follow as well.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, she just confirmed that. Yes, makeup, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, good, because it felt like you're gonna be your own best model. That's what I actually got chills from that. So
I wonder if you
like,
could do a YouTube thing.
right, yeah, like I almost feel like that could be something. It's like you present, I just keep seeing this beautiful, beautiful lady. Like I'm not seeing the full features or anything like that, but I just feel like you being very beautiful and having your own something, like this, like you're going to be your own best model. That's what I just keep hearing. So follow through with that. Yeah.
I like it. Oh, look at that. Already thinking of it. Perfect.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. Follow it. That's definitely, that's what I feel too. Yeah.
All right. So next up, thank you, Jada. Next up, we've got, I think it's Lack, L-A-K or I-N-K.
Okay.
So Lack is asking here, does Sugu still love me and think of me? Is there any hope of reconciliation in this connection? He is Capricorn and I am Leo.
Okay. I don't know when the last time you guys spoke or saw each other. I'm not sure. Could you just put that into the comments, Slack? When the last time you guys spoke or saw each other, or when there was some sort of connection with the two of you, because I'm getting kind of a compilation of different things that is coming through here, and I just need to have that confirmation from you. I need to take a look at something here. I feel like it's interesting. The first thing that I'm hearing, it's like you're thinking of them, they're thinking of you. They're thinking of you, you're thinking of them. There's a
distance.
What's right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
But like it's like a it does feel like a distance, but it's almost like there's this long distance cord, even if you're not actually long distance, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're no long time. I saw him last year. Okay. So is there a reconciliation? I'm going to be honest. I truly don't know about this reconciliation. I don't want to lead you on by saying 100% yes or 100% no. What I am getting is that there is a duality between the two of you. And it, like I said, it feels like you think of them, they think of you, they think of you, you think of them. It's almost as though you both have this cord that is attached and you're like pulling it closer to you. I want to say like Lady and the Tramp, when they had that spaghetti scene and one's on this side and one's on that side and they keep getting like kind of closer. Now, here's the thing. Are they going to be able to connect? That is going to be, the challenge behind that, because it does feel like, one takes that bite of spaghetti, the other one takes a bite, this, right? And it's like, but are you going to do that? I don't want to, again, I don't want to lead you on. I don't want to say 100% def. I do feel though that what you can do is send out those positive vibes throughout that cord and allow them to know that it's safe to come forward, that you truly care about them, keep it in that positive realm, because it's almost as though I literally am seeing a freaking telephone cord, like if you were to say something, they would hear it. If they were to say something, you would hear it. It's like this. It's like this connection.
Well, I want to comment on that.
Yeah.
I think what I'm literally being shown is that the emotional cord is still attached, that the emotions are still being shared.
Right.
So even though there's not the clear physical, there's that clear physical distance, all the emotional nature of the self is connected. So I feel like that's why you're seeing these cords, the telephone wire or whatever it is, even if it's 2 soup cans with a cord, whatever.
Right.
It's like that emotional connection is still there. And Spirit does keep showing me that there is going to be a reconnection, but they're not telling me to count on it in the next year. Like they're saying that this is a little bit further out, but there's still, what I'm being shown is that they're kind of growing on their own, and they keep showing me that they're growing spiritually in themselves first, because there's not a full spiritual alignment between them yet. It's just emotional right now. And so they're growing on their own
in order to make it better when they come together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. It almost feels like you have your lessons, he has his lessons.
Yes.
All of that stuff. So, and like you just said, Lack, I tried my best to move on, but I am being, pulled up. Like, you still feel that emotional. I feel
good foundation.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly like Brandon said, building the foundation, but you have to be strong within yourself. And you guys have, I kind of feel like you did, like you needed your own individual growth or, whatever it was, in order to make this connection stronger into the future. And, without that, it would just break down. Right. And there could be that, without that spiritual growth or that spiritual foundation or that emotional, physical, a strength within yourselves individually, you don't want to have where that, that lost opportunity. So it feels like this is giving you that opportunity to make yourself strong, to make yourself whole within your own essence, in order, and same for him. And this is why I kind of feel like that those chords, like what you're doing, he's doing, what he's doing, you're doing. It's like you guys are building this beautiful building within yourselves. It's like like you lay a foundation, he lays a flat foundation, you lay a floor, he lays a floor. It's like you guys are building up to create this beautiful whatever it is, this building or tower.
Well, it feels like balance.
Castle.
It feels like balance. Like it feels like they're coming into balance. Like when I'm connected with them and where things were before, it feels like one was too emotional and one was not emotional enough.
Right.
And now they're like growing on their own, getting balance in themselves. So that way, when there is the reconnection, which I do feel happening, that's going to be a better sense of balance. So it's not off kilter like it was before.
Yes. Yeah. So keep doing that. Keep working on yourself. Keep sending that love, but don't spend your day sending the love. You don't need to do that.
Just know you're already connected.
Know that, that's exactly it. Exactly as Brandon said. Just continue building your own foundation, and you're going to see that change happen, I feel.
So. It's going to take time. Don't think it's going to happen overnight. Like Spirit is showing me even at least a year out. At least.
Yeah. So.
And it's okay.
And
I do feel it is a soulmate connection.
It is, absolutely. And here's the thing is that when we are connected to, that particular soul, that twin flame, however you want to, consider it, that's exactly part of that purpose is you're helping them. They're helping you. The ultimate goal, what we have to remember, a lot of people really talk about the twin flame. And here's the thing, the ultimate goal of the twin flame connection is to be able to come together to betterment of the earth, the spirit, humanity in some way. Ultimately it is to raise the vibration of others and the earth, and because our energy itself really raises up that earth vibration. But when the twins are working on themselves, they are making themselves stronger, and eventually when they do come together as that couple, they're already in that place where they're, there's no need for that jealousy or envy or this or that or this, whatever it is, you're together. And, when you see a happy couple, you feel automatically happy within yourself, right? And that's kind of the purpose of them. It's not just for everybody to look at them and go, oh, I feel so happy for you, but it's to be able to create something with these two people to raise a vibration of the planet, of humanity. It's to give back. And this is why it can be such a challenge. It can be such a challenge. But here's the thing, it doesn't need to be a challenge, right? Because once we let go of ego, and I mean, I feel like for some degree, that's one of the things that I've been doing is letting go of ego. Is like, you have to let it go. You recognize, and again, taking that step back and looking at something within that third perspective, right? Like that video game type of perspective where you're like the third, outside, and you see, something, and you, instead of sitting there in this place of, well, blah, 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 you remove that ego. And you're like, okay, I understand. It doesn't it doesn't mean that you have to let somebody treat you like crap. That I don't want anybody confusing anything like that. It does not mean that anybody has the right to cheat on you, be disloyal to you, be mean to you, be nasty to you, talk down to you, abuse you in any way. That is not it. But it also means that you don't need to look at everything and go, oh my God, they hate me, or oh my God, blah, 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 or to make assumptions, or, to get into that place of being, where we're just thinking about our own ego, right? And it's like, oh, okay, I understand why they did that. Oh, I understand why they did that. But again, this isn't about allowing somebody to treat you like crap. There's two different things. That is not a twin flame relationship. That is just somebody who is an abusive a-hole, right? You don't need to accept that. But there is, a lot of your own, releasing that you do have to do in order to bring this together. And it can come together beautifully in order to help what needs to be helped. And you will be guided along the way. So I'm going to leave it there with that.
Well, it seems that was a good confirmation here for luck. So
okay, good. You're so welcome.
Thank you for your question. All right, we're going to move on to our next one here. It's going to be Champagne.
Okay.
All right, Champagne is asking, I'm confused a bit, need clarity. I'm in a connection with someone I've been trying to build a connection with, and also a soulmate. Which one do I focus on? David is an Aquarius. And the new person, Angel, is a Libra. That is the ex-person.
Okay. I hear very clearly from Spirit what you need to do. And you might not 100% like the answer because I'm not going to give you a direction exactly, but I am giving you a direction. All right. What I am getting, Champagne, is this is not about them. This is totally about you. And, basically what I had just said, in talking about the soulmate connection, the twin flame connection, I feel like whoever is ready to step up needs to step up. But in order for this to happen, you have to focus in on you. And I kind of get the Libra person is back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, here today, flittering somewhere else the next day, not with other people, but just it's like an inconsistency is what I keep getting. I feel like the Aquarius person, I feel like the Aquarius person is trying to put some energy towards this connection, but there is a fear within them about, like, it almost feels like, okay, how do I explain this? All right.
Is it about losing the self?
Yes.
To get into the relationship?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I also feel too, is because you're a little bit like this as well, it's really hard for that Aquarius to come forward because they're a little bit hesitant on, are you going to go forward with them or you're not? And even if you've never said anything in regards to this other, this Libra, the Aquarius is very intuitive. They're like this. They know that your full attention isn't quite there. So they're not going to put their full attention into it either until you're ready to take that step in some manner or put that energy. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that you have to, you know, completely abandon everything. It just feels like you have to have that strength within yourself, because that Aquarius will pick it up. They feel very intuitive. And like Brandon was saying, like losing themselves too. They don't want to get hurt. They don't want to be in a place of feeling lost.
Ooh, I'm noticing a theme, Kathy. I'm noticing a theme.
Uh-oh.
So this has to be a direct reflection of Champagne here, because when I'm tapped into the Libra angel, I am feeling a fear of losing the relationship, because it's like they're fearing to really put a finality to that disconnection or the relationship not working. It's like they're fearing the death of it. And I feel that the Libra is going to go through a moment of losing a sense of self, but then the new Aquarius is like, oh, I don't want to give so much that I do lose my sense of self. And there is a theme here. And I feel like it is a total mirror of what's going on with Champagne. There could be, maybe Champagne is going through their own identity
awakening
definition.
And yeah.
It's like I feel like Champagne has gone through an awakening, but it feels like something deeper is being evolved here. It feels like there's something that's going to be kind of brought to the surface within the self, just in light of relationship. What's your zodiac, if you don't mind me asking, Champagne? I'm psychic. They're both karmics. Yeah, exactly. A Leo. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're definitely being asked, you know, to I guess create more definition for yourself just in these mirrors alone.
Yeah.
For sure.
I feel like too is that's why I felt like you have to come into your own energy. You have to, you know, make yourself. It's basically being consistent with what it is that you want. Like work within yourself and let who's ever ready to step up to come through. Like rather than focusing on them, focusing on you. And as you're ascending and as you're going higher, that person, whichever one, is going to make that step forward. That's what I keep feeling as well. Make sense?
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think Champagne sees. I think.
Yeah.
I think she can see what's happening here with these people. She's psychic herself, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I do. Keep following. You'll be good. You'll discover it. You'll know exactly where you're supposed to go, and who's ready to take that journey with you is what I keep getting.
Oh, I just keep seeing so many different visions with this, but I don't know. I vibe with the Aquarius too. I'm right there in line with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel that's right. It feels like it's opening something important, and it feels like it's doing something. I am picking up one other thing, which is that there is going to need to be a sense of grounding for Champagne at some point. And hopefully through the fire and air energy that she's getting in this connection, hopefully that can all be brought to a sense of grounding. That energy could be done together. Right. Fire and air, I don't think of anything that's stable. I think of combustion, you know. I think of explosions or things that are, you know, fiery, slow burn, that kind of thing. Yeah. If you can create a grounded energy for that I feel is what's going to be able to sustain for long term. Yeah.
I do. I feel very I don't know. It's interesting because I you know, the Libra is just like this. It's like this. I don't know. I'm not getting a lot of stability with the Libra, if that makes sense, right? Like I don't feel like the Libra person is a lot stable, and I feel like because Champagne, you're very, there is a lot of strength within you. You have a lot of fortitude within yourself, and that instability is kind of like drives you freaking crazy is kind of what I'm getting to, right? Like the Aquarius might not be quite ready, you know, but they're working on it. They're trying to come through, but they're much more stable in their energy. And that's where I feel like that strength is coming in. Yeah.
hopefully Champagne heard the beginning of the show
Yeah.
where we were talking about that Aquarian energy and how to best connect or deal in those moments where they are, tuned out or, just kind of drifting as they do sometimes.
Drifting. Not me. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't be silly.
You're like the Sims controller where you hover over the people and you control their lives. Like, that's so Aquarius.
That's hilarious. I love that. That's freaking hilarious. Yeah, that's kind of it. Not gonna lie. All right. Oh my gosh.
Awesome. Thank you, Champagne.
Yeah, thank you. And I hope it's helped. Definitely. Did we open up? Is that for the new?
That is all the new.
Okay. And now we're opening it up to people that have been here before and regulars. There we go. Perfect. Can I have 2 minutes? Because if you guys see me drink my coffee, yeah. I definitely have to give me 2 minutes, and I'll kind of just let that, if you're okay with that, just give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So just in case you didn't see in the chat, the reading room is now open for everybody else. We're going to take them in the order that we received the questions in the chat. But we do have a time constraint today, so we'll try to get through as many as we can, but with all the details and description that Kathy and I usually like to do, because if you've noticed, when we're picking up on energy and we're connecting together, it's like we're feeding similar vibes or moments, and we just pick up on different things as we both connect and channel. So we can be a little bit long-winded sometimes. So yeah, we'll take them in the order that they were received, and we're gonna have to go to the top of the hour. So we'll try to get in everybody that we can. Also, just to show some support here, a little bit of solidarity. Denise here in the chat is starting her own channel. Let me scroll up to see the name. Somewhere. Where is my little strong arm emoji? Because that is where I put it before. Writer's block. There we go. So it is Misty Cow Divine is Denise's YouTube, if you want to check that out. I'm not sure if Denise will be doing readings or anything there, but I know Jenna will be moderating the chat, so Jenna and Denise will be there as well. So if you want to check that out, I think, oh yeah, look at that. So Denise is doing free readings tonight. So it'll be at 11 p.m. my time, I believe.
Oh, okay. So, what am I missing here?
Denise, Denise has been with us since we started pretty much. And she's doing her own channel where she's doing readings later tonight. Oh, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. There you go.
Denise, can you put your channel down below, or?
Misty Cow Divine is the channel.
Okay. I'm going to have to, if you can send that to me, that would be great. Yeah, that would be fantastic. I'd love to watch that.
All right, so I've got Jessica's here. Let's see. All right, so we're going to do these in the order that we received them, and we might not be able to get to everybody today.
Okay.
But we will certainly try our best.
Who is first?
All right, so first up is going to be, that's Kay.
Okay. Hello, Kay.
Kay would like to know, what does Spirit want me to do regarding my situation with my father?
Okay.
Yes, that is quite a bit of energy there.
Okay, Kay, I'm going to describe the energy that I'm feeling, and if you can give me some confirmation. It almost feels like you're standing here and it's like overwhelming freaking energy all over. It's like pushing. What is that? That is
There's
like
definitely pressure,
right? Like it's
there's
like
totally
like
pressure.
pushing, like trying to either convince you or something, or trying to like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like this overwhelming, oh, and
It's like a wall caving in or something.
yeah, and it's almost like you're kind of like, oh, like stop, you know, it's like push, like it's this it's like they're trying to convince you of something, or trying to, you know, get some sort of validation from you, or something like that. But it's just freaking, excuse my language, it's so overwhelming. It's like they're right here, right here, and just, you just like stop, you know. I definitely, do they live with you? Like, it almost feels like they're either living with you or like trying to invade your space of some sort. Yes, they do. Okay. Because I feel like there's a difficulty with you. The word escaping comes, like, you know, it almost means like you can't find your peace, you know. I don't know if you've tried talking to them, leaving in the spring. Okay. Yeah, because it almost feels like you're trying so desperately to find your own space within the space. Like it's like you just want to lock yourself in your room or whatever. It almost feels as though you I don't know if you're able to talk to them to some degree, explain the situation. Gosh, I don't know, like,
this is a tough one, and even the information that I'm getting, it's like I feel conflicted about giving it because it doesn't feel like it's exactly positive.
right. Yeah. I can't talk to them. It would be, yeah. I get what you're saying. Dangerous for me. Okay. Yeah. Sweetie, if you could find a way to get out of that or remove them, you know, faster. But
I'm being shown this, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
I'm being shown that the father needs to know. I hate saying this. I really hate saying this. The father needs to know what a void feels like. And it's like the father needs to know what it's like to miss you. It's like this lesson of being taken advantage of and needing to learn about it, because the father doesn't understand the constant eating away at your own heart and emotions that's currently happening. And it's like the father needs to know. It's like you almost need to be sneaky about you like kind of disappearing or not being around. But it's like, I say sneaky because it's like you secretly are still paying attention and you're making sure that you're watching over or making sure that everything is, you know, that he's okay. But also at the same time, it's like he needs to feel that void. Like he needs to know what it's like to not have you around. It's like a lesson that he needs to learn. And it feels really interesting for you to teach your father a lesson, but it feels like there's some karmic ties there where he has to know what this feels like. And it feels like, I don't know if he has done this to you or to other people in his life, but he has left people high and dry and left them in voids, if that makes sense. And it's like he just has to get this back in some way. And that's why I say I hate to say this, because it sounds like vindictive or something like that, but it doesn't feel like it's coming from that ego place. It feels like it's coming from a soul place, because I can feel the love, you know, that you do have for your father. It's just, it feels imbalanced right now.
It is very much talking. It's interesting because the two cards that I literally pulled from the deck are the Emperor, which really does talk about that, you know, domination, controlling, father figure, you know, but we also have that King of Swords, which talks about disconnection. And that might be, you know, I found out need to leave him. Yeah, because it again, disconnection. That when that King of Swords comes through, it's like thinking with your head as opposed to the heart. So even though, you know, that love is there, or you know, those feelings are there, that family connection is there, this is very much talking about leading with the mind as opposed to, you know, the heart energy. And I totally agree with what Brandon is saying. It just feels like this is what needs to happen. You might even have to go into that energy of that hangman, do a lot of contemplation within yourself. What is the best thing for me to take that step forward?
The one thing I do want to say, Kay, they keep showing me that you are getting signs, and they are coming from, they're showing me a male energy, and I feel like they are coming either from him, or maybe you have a male friend that is at a distance from you who is giving you information or something, but they are showing me that signs are happening, and it's happening by way of thoughts specifically. They're showing me, even though the thoughts are clouded, you might have to sift through all of that in order to be able to see, but you are getting signs. You are getting signs. They are trying to communicate the next steps for you. It's just a matter of kind of sifting them out. Pay attention to all the words that your father specifically says or uses, because they're showing me that the language is in there. Like he is saying, you know, to either disappear or leave or something like that. Like it is being communicated in some way. So when I say sneaky, let me just make sure I confirm. It's the illusion of you disappearing, but you are still having a handover, making sure he's okay. So it's sneaky in that regards, where it looks to him like you're kind of disappearing, but you still are able to know if he's like okay or well or taken care of, you know, healthy, that kind of energy. But it's just so he can learn his own lesson, or to experience karma, and he has to do it alone. He has to feel that void himself. He does absolutely. I hate to condone, you know, kind of sneaky or shady behavior, because I believe in nothing but being authentic, but sometimes people have to experience a dose of reality, you know, in order to really understand something. Yeah, I 100% agree. 100%. So, because you can't keep having this drain on yourself, Kay. It's just not going to be good. Yeah. You won't be serving him in your relationship. You won't be serving yourself. You've got to get rid of that drain. It's not going to be easy. There is that the Three of Swords that is coming through with the heartache and all of this. But ultimately, what will come through is that strength within yourself, that resilience. I do feel ultimately through this, there will be, he's going to take it out on my siblings. Okay. So yeah, yeah, this is really a tough one for you. I completely agree. But I 100% agree with what Brandon had to say. Like, there has to be some sort of movement forward that is going to be the safest for you, that gives you that strength and that resilience of, you know, separating from the situation in some manner. Yep. Yeah. That's time. It's a rough one. That's a rough one, but it will be worth it. There might even need to be some sort of authority that comes in at some point. I'm not exactly sure where that authority is, like whether this is within health or whether this is in legal. But if he pursues what he needs to, or if he pursues, you know, like making this a danger, you may have to, you know, use the resources that are available to you at this point. Okay. That's what I think. You'll know when the right time is coming. Yeah. You'll know. Yeah. So, yeah, the cops. Yeah. If need be, that might have to be a possibility towards the situation. Oh God, just wait for this conjunction. That'll probably have an effect on a lot of it, I bet. Honestly. Yeah. So I hope that's helped, hon.
You're so welcome.
All right. Good luck, Kay. And thank you for your question here.
Yeah.
All right. So Carrie is next.
Okay.
Carrie, are you still here? We've got Carrie. And then JJ, Jessica, Jenna, Denise, HK, Lala,
Okay.
and William. We'll try to get through as many as we can here.
Okay.
So Carrie would like to know, when will the tyranny of... Wait, is this right? Is this what Carrie is asking? When will the tyranny of the government and local city council end? When are the masses going to wake up? I'm a Libra. Is that your question, Carrie? Make sure, because I've not heard anybody ask something that's so open like that before.
Okay, this is, this is a tough one, right? Because it is going to, I do feel that it is going to open, but it is going to be it is going to be a process that people are going to open when they're particularly ready to open. You can't, unfortunately, I feel a real resistance, right, with all of this, because there are the people that are following a lot of the mainstream media. There are a lot of people that are believing the things that we're being told on a global level. But the thing is you can't wake people up if they're not ready to be woken. And they are going to slowly, I feel like the ones that are taking their time to open are the ones that are going to have the strongest, to some degree, the strongest belief and that awakening, because of the fact that, when you're in this place of being, locked down, or you're in this place of this wall, and once that wall starts breaking down, you're allowed to absorb all of the energy that's coming through. I'm trying to explain this in a way. It's kind of like when you're shown the little steps at a time and you starting to open up and you're starting to awaken. It's like opening up your eyes. You may only see a sliver, but as you start to open your eyes more, now you're starting to see a bigger picture and a bigger picture and a bigger picture. And then you're like, oh, I get it. And when you're in that place, you're not just following a particular agenda or a particular narrative. Now you're in a place of full belief within yourself. And that's when I feel like, and this is going to happen, but it's going to happen slowly over the next, I don't even know how many years, but it is starting to open. It is starting to awaken. And you will start seeing that, within particular groups or particular people. And it's like all of a sudden they'll just have this realization like, holy crap, like I was completely blind, or I was completely, not seeing the things behind this. So I don't feel like pushing an agenda is particularly the way to go, because there's a lot of resistance out there. And the more that we push, there's a lot more resistance coming back. But if you allow things to just be awakened slowly, you start to really see, or you're starting to allow people to really see things on a different viewpoint. Okay. I hope that helps, but it is happening. Man. But we have to take our time with it, right?
I'm seeing something so much more morbid. Oh my goodness. Well, not morbid, but definitely more intense.
Yeah.
When I ask this question, Spirit shows me, they show me death leads to heart opening and spiritual realizations, which are going to essentially be the foundations of the new society, quote unquote. Mm-hmm. And as far as timing, they're showing me that it's already happening, that the awakening is already happening. And that confirms, what I felt most of this year, to be honest. But They show me December is where you can see these communications start happening. So people are talking, mm-hmm. asking questions. Next month, January, is when things start to change, right? Yeah. This is when people will start to adapt and awaken. But so the awakening does happen. I feel it's happening within this next month. But I'm feeling that we're going to start seeing downfalls and destruction in February. This is what I'm being shown, that things are breaking down, kind of like the Tower card, right, in tarot, where it's like, okay, the tower is coming down, things are kind of getting disheveled and moved around. But we all know, anybody that has studied tarot or spirituality knows that when something breaks down, it's room for a new foundation to be created.
Yeah.
We've got Uranus and Taurus. Mars will be in Taurus soon enough. We've got this grand conjunction happening in Aquarius. And Kathy and I talked about it last week. Kathy made a beautiful analogy of like bringing heaven, Aquarius, down to earth, Taurus, and those are the two energies that we will be dealing with these next couple months. And that was so beautifully put, because that's exactly how I feel and am being shown right now. It's people needing to get into the heart. It's like we all think that the brain is like the master, like, oh, if you're smart, then you know what's going on, or you know how to take advantage of the world, and the brain is like your ultimate king. But that's not true. The brain is just a tool. The brain is a tool for the vessel that is the human body, but it's the heart that is our motor. It's the heart that dictates how movement happens. It's the heart that connects to spirit, not the brain. And once that shift happens, that's when we're finally going to see an end to all this crazy tyranny and
absolutely. And
in my opinion, insanity.
100%. And I also feel too, more and more people are starting to use their intuition. They're starting to follow what is inside them, as opposed to the listening of, the crap that's going on and that we're hearing being fed and, shoveled at us. Excuse me. But, but what I'm really getting here is that as I don't feel like Carrie is like pushing the agenda is going to help, because it does bring up more resistance, but you can show people in little ways, right? It's like, oh, hey, did you see this? Hey, look what I found. What do you think about this? Make them start to think for themselves. And I feel like that might be a better way to approach it, as opposed to just sort of shoving something into somebody's face and saying, look, you're not listening, because that's where that resistance comes in, because people have to have that slow awakening and that slow showing, and they have to be able to absorb it within themselves fully. Again, it's like when it's like relationships. Okay. I'm just going to put this example out there really quick. It's like relationships. Nobody wants to date the person that's like, hey, I love you. We just went for coffee. You're my soulmate. I got to go, blah, 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 blah. Nobody wants to be with that person, right? Because that's not a true person. That's not a real person. It makes us back away. What you want is that person that is going to take that time to get to know you, to open their heart to you, like you're going through all of the steps that a relationship is supposed to have. And that is kind of like what needs to happen right now. If we start shoving things at people, it makes them back off, because it gives them that energy of like, holy crap, like you're not letting me assimilate this. You're not letting me ascend to this. I have to have that understanding myself. Nobody wants to date the dude who's like, I love you, and let's get married next weekend, even though we just met. Like, screw you. Right? Like,
I'm sure Las Vegas may beg to
right. Yeah. But that's not, ultimately the person that we want. So I'm
so glad Carrie asked this question, but I have to say this. There are people who are not meant to be awake.
Right. 100%. Yeah.
And they could be people that you love.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a very difficult reality to swallow.
Yeah.
I think Carrie, you're more involved with the truth and finding things that are authentic. And I think you need to stick with that. You cannot force anybody awake. And I learned this lesson very, very early on in life, where I saw these people and they had all this potential. And it was like they were one thought away from changing their entire life and embodying themselves with the success that I could just so easily see. But they didn't want it. They didn't want to go through that moment. And no matter how many times that I led them and showed them and stayed steady with them, or even sometimes pushed them, they didn't want it. They couldn't take it. And that's when I finally realized, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing you can do. And then in that moment of acceptance, boom. It's like either that person or somebody else comes to me and they're like, oh my God, I'm going through all this and I don't know what to do. And they come to me. They came to me, and then I was able to help that person shift in a way. So it's really, you have to let them be in that space, and you have to accept that there are people who are not going to be awake. Part of their purpose, part of their experience is going to be in a martyr, victim kind of experience, where they become victim to their own beliefs, and they have to go through that, and you have to be willing to let that happen for them. Not everybody wants to or is going to be quote unquote saved, and you have to follow your convictions at this time. It's extremely important to follow your voice, like Kathy was talking about, what you feel, your intuition, and you can't force that onto other people. I think you would have felt similarly if somebody else came to you and they're like, hey, you need to believe this. And you're like, the hell I do? Like, you're crazy for that. It's trying to reverse the situation.
You can't push it. The more that you push, the more resistance you're going to get. And you have to allow that awakening or whatever it is. You have to let them do it on their own to some degree. You can guide, but you can't push. It's not going to be the way, to bring this forward. Speaking of moving forward, we should probably move forward.
I know, it was just such a beautiful question. Nobody has ever asked before something outside of themselves like that.
Absolutely.
I find that so beautiful. I love when people ask that.
Thank you so much.
It's coming in time. It's coming in time.
Yeah.
Just, you might have to be like the cocoon, like we were talking about earlier, right now.
Yeah.
But you are certainly not alone. Certainly not alone in this. Try and vibe with other lions, other people that are awake.
Yeah.
All right. JJ is up next.
Okay.
JJ, I'm wondering where Gary's head and heart is towards me or this connection at the moment. He has just reached out 2 days ago after being in separation since February.
Okay. He wants to move it forward. We're not gonna spend a lot of time on each question now because we are getting kind of close to that closing time. Let him. What I'm hearing very, very strongly is let him continue this, not you. His head and heart. He wants to step forward. I do feel. It's almost like I feel like a seeking of forgiveness of some sort. But he has to ask for it. He has to, nope, I let the Libra go. Okay. He has to take those steps. In order to create this strength and this bond, I do feel that it needs to be within his energy. I feel like... there's definitely been an awakening, an opening within this. It almost feels like whatever it was that you were doing between February and now has really brought his energy forward. And I really feel like just allow him to take those next steps. It's not your job is what I'm hearing. It's not your job. He has to do this on his own. He has to come into this strength within himself and move it forward. And I feel he will.
Yeah, I think it's happening even right now. Spirit keeps showing me like the BS, like the shady or sneaky or whatever kind of emotions that are just unstable. They're kind of getting cut out at this time between them. And I feel it has to do with what you said. Yeah, that he's opening up.
He is. I do feel that. But do not push it. Let him come forward. Yeah. Don't message, don't call, don't do anything. This has to be on his own. This is really a time right now, just really quickly. This is also a real time for that masculine energy to finally get some balls and step up and get their own crap together and move forward, because as within the feminine energy, which doesn't need to be within the gender of females, okay, it just is the feminine energy. It is, we've done enough. Plain and simple. Whether you're female or whatever, it's that feminine side has really done a lot of freaking work over the last, I want to say 5 years. We've come into a lot of our power. We've let a lot of things go. We've really removed a lot of work from our own ego. And now it is time for that masculine energy, whether it's within ourselves or whether within a male presence, whatever it is, time. It's time. Like, they've got to step up now. It's not our job to chase after them. It's not our job to pamper them, take care of them, cater to them, whatever. It's time for them to embrace that masculine energy. Take a step back, let them do it. And it doesn't mean that you can't, give a reward for that, or not reward. I don't mean reward them, but I mean, acknowledge it. Of course you should acknowledge it, because anybody that goes through a sense of strength absolutely acknowledge, the fact that they've grown and the fact that they're, coming into their own power. But at the same time, we have to let them do that. Like, if we're sitting there catering to that masculine energy, they're not getting that chance to grow. And, ultimately you want a man, you don't want a little boy, right? That's going to be that different. So allow them to come to you is what I keep hearing. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Distance is the key here, right?
Absolutely. Now. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, JJ. Feels like things are on the right path. I feel like you're taking the right
grow some balls and do it. I love that. Right? Because that's what I'm feeling. Like, they've got it. Like, that's exactly it. They've got to get their shit together. Like, we've already done it. We've done a lot of work as feminines, or the feminine energy, right? And, I'm sorry, but
now it's time for the masculine.
It's time for the masculine to step up and present what it is, what they're made out of. What are you made out of? Right? Are you a man or a boy? Time. It's time. It's time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, JJ.
You're so welcome, JJ, too. Thank you.
All right. Jessica's up next here.
Okay.
Jessica would like to know, I just wanted to ask his current energy towards me now. Just worried after he left me on red this morning. Not sure if he's upset over anything or if he'll contact again. Thank you.
Okay, I am going to, if you don't mind, Brandon, I'm going to let you look into this one, because I know this situation very well. And
okay.
If
Jessica,
you're okay with
that. If I had a name and first name and or zodiac sign, that would definitely help.
It's Tim and a Taurus.
Tim Taurus. Tim the Taurus.
Tim the Taurus. Oh, and Jessica, don't apologize. I just think that about another perspective would be great. I'm kind of putting Brandon on the spot here.
Zodiac?
Jessica's a Pisces.
Okay, I thought so. I thought she had said that before. Oh, I love Taurus and Pisces energy together. I just love it. I don't know why. I just love it. Okay, let me connect here. Jessica and Tim. Ooh, this is. Ooh, he is quite there is an interesting blend of Tim that I feel. I mean, he can be so rigid and unbending, but yet so incredibly emotional, and you never know what you're going to get. You never know when it's going to happen. I feel a lot of surprising moments with Tim. The energy definitely feels like, even right now, I can feel Tim having emotions and like trying to like block them out. You must have had some kind of it had to have been some kind of emotional communication, like either today or yesterday, for him to have left you on red, because it feels like Tim's trying to make a point, if that makes sense. I feel a little bit of ego there that's like, okay, I'm gonna not say anything, because not saying anything is saying more than saying anything ever could right now. And I can feel like this, I don't know, it's like this, I hate to say it this way, but I know the energy. It's like an elitist kind of vibe, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna stay up here at this level because I don't want to deal with these emotions, which he's not honoring his own emotions, and therefore in turn is not honoring yours. So this has to deal with a lot of his own mirrors and his own sense of respect to his own emotions. It's very clearly mirrored out in the connection between the two of you. So let me see what I feel coming up here, if there will be contact again, or what's going to happen. What's going to happen? Okay, so what I keep being shown is that I feel like Spirit keeps showing me this kind of play back and forth where things are going to be distant and quiet, but then all of a sudden they're going to be back in your face. And it's this inconsistency that I feel, even though it feels annoying, it feels like it's doing something like on purpose between the both of you. It feels like it's giving both of you a sense of clarity. I know that sounds so ironic, like ambiguity does not equate to clarity, but it feels like it's doing exactly that. It's like there's this weird hot and cold vibe that literally puts things in a specific definition between the two. Oh, okay, so this is what it is. So Spirit just made it very, very clear. They're aligned in spirit, but they're not aligned in physical. And so that's what's trying to happen, is that you're trying to get an alignment channeled down from a higher source or a higher energy, a higher sense of connection. I always call this a high frequency nature or high frequency connection. And when that happens, it's like all these alignments are happening in a whole other realm or layer or perspective of reality, and they have to channel down into a slower vibration. And that's why you're getting all this hot and cold. That's why you're getting all these contradictory interactions between the two of you. It's difficult. It's going to be difficult to channel this relationship to physical in a harmonious way because of what's happening in the masks and ego. I do feel this mostly happening in Tim, just because of his rigidity sometimes, and his unwillingness to bend. It feels like it has to go through these uncomfortable interactions for him to get it, right, for him to get the point.
The patience is definitely having to be there. But it's funny because basically everything that you've said, I've already...
You've already
this has already been like you're like I don't want to say you're not saying anything new, because that takes away from what you just said. It's exactly the energy that I have felt through all of this, right? And it's she definitely has to stay within that high vibration in order for him to assimilate to where she is. And
absolutely.
And
that's the key. That's the
key
100%.
Because every time you go into a spiral, you're removing that energy that you've already created between the two of you. So you have to stay higher than lower.
Honestly, keep speaking to his higher self, his spirit, his soul.
Exactly what I said.
Speaking to that.
I love it.
You have to keep that vibration, because that's what's going to allow things to acquiesce. That's what's going to
absolutely
allow the connection to be seen, for him to be able to get it. You have to speak to him.
Oh, I love it because we totally meshed on that. And I love it because this is the exact same energy that we have already
So has Jessica already lowered herself to try to get him to connect?
In ways. It's a spiraling. It's a spiraling, right? So
Jessica's so ready to give of herself, but he is not doing the same all the time, and she has to keep speaking to that soul, so he does.
Absolutely.
You have to speak to him spiritually. Don't honor the boring Taurus part of him. I'm a Taurus. I know how boring we are. Like, don't honor that part of him. It's so basic and boring and stuck and rigid and yuck. The spirit is where it's at, and you can help him transcend his own BS by speaking to the soul, to the higher self, to the spirit at all times.
Absolutely. And it's funny because when we talk to spirit, within the energy of that higher self, it's like talking, like have that actual conversation with them on that higher self level. And that's what a lot of people don't seem to realize. It's like, go into your higher self, go into your spiritual meditation. But when you're speaking with them, you talk to them as if they are in their higher self, not in this stupid 3D reality of where we're getting just pissed off at their behavior. It's like, that you're higher, you're basically saying, look, I know you're better than what you're presenting to me. I know you're a better person than what you're presenting to yourself. I know you feel this, and have that conversation and allow it to come through.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This reminds me of something, a lesson that I learned. I would hold people to their potential and what I saw in them all the time.
Right.
And I neglected all of the actions that they were taking in that moment, that they weren't showing me anything from that spiritual potential that they had. But I could see all of it. And I was like, I was treating them as if they were that person already, but they weren't. They didn't go through all the stuff to get to that place. And I was holding them to that level. And I ended up being the one that ended up hurt or missing something or losing something or being drained in some way.
Yeah.
And I wasn't holding them to the actions they were taking physically in reality. I think that's the difficult nature, especially with Piscean people. It's because they feel all these things about a person because they're so easily blended with it. And then they end up feeling all the anxiety of them not getting on that path because they are feeling the path for them to get to it. It's so imbued.
Which is why too, I mentioned, like, especially when you have that soulmate twin flame type of relationship, if we're sitting there and we're saying, I remember very specifically, very quickly, a client that I had on, the app that we work on, Purple Ocean, and they said to me, yeah, I know he's cheating with all these people, but I'm just giving him love. And I'm like, screw that freaking noise. Screw that. No. That is not twin flame. That is just being a sleeping bag for somebody. Like, that's all you're doing. Like, you get out of that freaking energy. That's bullshit. Sorry, excuse my language, but that is complete BS. And no, you do not allow somebody to take advantage of you. Cheating is not okay. Not being loyal is not okay. Not being faithful is not okay. Not treating you like crap is okay. Like, that's not okay energy. And you don't have to sit there and go, oh, it's okay, I know we're twins, so you go treat me like shit and make me a sleeping bag. Screw that. No. That is not a soulmate connection. That is complete crap. And so, it comes back down to making ourselves into a better place, right? And this is what that energy that you're pushing forward, not this junk, and not trying to. You don't need to validate their crappiness by saying, oh, well, they're soulmates. Whatever.
So what? That does not negate any of the actions.
I don't give a shit what you are. Like, you know what I mean? You treat me like crap. There's the door, dude. Out of it. See ya. There's a cliff. Done. Right? Like, done. No. That is not okay.
Let him figure out the way to bend. Keep talking to his spirit.
Right.
You talk to the soul.
Exactly.
That's what's most important.
Let's move on, my dear. I hope that's helped, Jessica. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, we are at the top of the hour here.
I know that you have to go. So I think that maybe what we should do is, we're going to be here next week. I think that we should stop it for right now, simply because I know we want to try and get to everybody, but I think what we will do is the ones that we weren't able to get to this week, we will bring on first for that next week. I hope that that's okay for everybody. Because we did have to.
Well, these are free readings, so I hope that they appreciate that their way.
Exactly. And what we'll do. What's that?
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I'm changing topic. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think what we'll do is we'll just, we have a list of who it is, and we will just, we'll start fresh next week with those, and then go from there. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to update people on the next giveaway while they're here?
Yeah, I think we're going to do one for the end of the month. But again, I am still trying to get resin in. It is very, very hard to find right now, simply because it is Christmas. So we may not be able to do it like for the first of the month. It may have to be within that first week in January or something like that, as soon as we can kind of get through, this Christmas season, because it's really hard to get a hold of, and it's taking a while for the shipments to come through. So, yeah, I think that's kind of the update that I got at the moment.
All right, so we're doing it. We're just waiting for
Yeah.
it to be created because you want to create a fresh one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I do. And also too, is I do have, I have a bunch of custom orders that I've got to make too. So one of the things that I'm going to do is one of my best friends, her husband passed away a couple of weeks ago, and I'm actually going to be putting his ashes into 6 of the pyramids of the organite pyramids, and presenting them to the family. And I'm just so honored that I have her trust in this. And I hope to be able to channel each of the organites that we're going to be giving, that are going to be going to her in the family. And I want his presence within them, like, the channeling of how he wants them created for each person. So
yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm really, like I said, I'm so amazingly honored, to be able to have that trust and faith in her to be able to create this. So I'm so excited.
That's beautiful. That's seriously beautiful. Very touching.
Yeah.
Nice,
and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to being able to present a part of him, literally, to all the family, and to be able to, create something for each member that is going to be special for them, and from his personal energy as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that.
So, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for watching.
Some beautiful questions today. My goodness.
I know. I love it. I absolutely love it. It kind of just really brings you. I love the lives because I go offline and I'm literally flying high for like hours afterwards, because everybody on here has the most beautiful energy, and being able to connect with you. I know, I feel it. I know Brandon feels it. It's like this amazing community that we're starting to build, and I truly appreciate it. I appreciate all the support that you guys have given us, and I can't thank you enough. Like it's so meaningful that we're able to do this and to have the amazing support that we do. So thank you so much.
Yes, and just as a reward here, I always tell everybody, I always appreciate when people come together. So just for, me and my website, I offer, if you're listening live, you can use the coupon code LIVE2 for 40% off of booking readings here with me. It applies to the hour and hour and a half session. So LIV as in Victor, E2, the number 2, LIVE2 will get you a 40% discount on my website, thedreamteacher.com. So you can go ahead and use that if you are listening in live. Beautiful. It changes. It's only valid for once a week. So you can use it for each one. I change it every week.
Beautiful. And if for anybody that wants to connect with me for a reading, you can message me at oracleintuitions.com. You can also contact me on my Facebook page, Oracle Intuitions, or Oracle_Intuitions on Instagram. So
check out Denise's show, Misty Cal Divine. It'll be tonight. Misty Cal Divine.
I can't wait
be
for that
hanging out and giving readings there if you didn't get a chance to get here. I've seen some crazy psychic visions with her, of her being quite tuned in. So perfect. I'm certain that she'll be able to give good readings.
Thank you so much, everybody. And Denise, I'll be watching tonight. I can't wait. So thank you so much. We'll see you next Saturday. Have an amazing week and many blessings, and take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Whoops.